For your next assignment, you're going to be creating a science newsletter using Microsoft Publisher. So you're going to open up Publisher, you're going to click on Start, All Programs, Microsoft Office, Microsoft Publisher. It's not listed on the bottom of the toolbar. When it opens, you have this view. We are creating a newsletter, so we're going to work with what they already have. It'll be much easier, so we're going to click on Newsletters. You're going to bring up a lot of different templates. You're going to choose one that you like. It doesn't actually matter because every single element can be changed, but it's much easier to work off of an existing template which already has our text boxes set up for us. We are making a 3-column spread, meaning that there needs to be columns on your newsletter. So if you find something that does not have text box columns set up, we're not going to use one of those options. So I'm going to click on this one. Like I said, it doesn't really matter. Either double click or click on create. It will create your newsletter for you. The first thing you notice when you open up is that it looks very similar to Microsoft Word, Microsoft PowerPoint, but obviously there are some extra options here. One important thing we have here is our page navigation. Without this, we can't go in between our pages, okay? We could simply click on them and it will switch to the different pages. So once we have our newsletter open, it comes in a smaller view. You can either increase the size on the bottom here or go to view and zoom. You can make it 100, you can make it 75, whatever view is good for you. What needs to be included in your title on your first page somewhere, it's not a whole title page, it's just going to be somewhere on the top. You're going to name your newsletter. So hopefully it'll be more creative than this, but I'm going to call it the Science Times. You're going to somewhere on top have your name. You're going to have both of your names because if you're working in pairs, you're going to have your class. So I'm just going to write 8G1 or 2. You're going to write the school name, RYN. I can't even see what I'm typing. RYNJ. And you're going to put science/computers. Okay, now obviously I can't see all this information that was written. I'm going to move this. Let's go back here. I'm going to get to this text box and expand it. But notice that nothing happened, even though I expanded the text box. In Publisher, everything is wrapped. It's all works with a text wrapping here, which we're going to get to in 1 minute. I'm just going to leave this here for a second. So you need to have all that information, your name, your class, the school, and the subject, which would be computers and science. Your title, which you're going to put in, hopefully we're going to make look a little bit more interesting. We're going to put it into a word art. So I'm actually just going to highlight what I have already here. I'm going to click on insert and go to word art. The word art, like in Microsoft Word, they don't give you all the options here. Everything can be changed afterwards. So I'm just going to click on one. It opens up your edit word art text, which is where you could type in your word. This is also where you're going to type, switch your font size. I'm going to click OK. If you do not like this and you want to switch it, if you double click, nothing will happen. When you double click, however, you'll notice that your word art tool is open, and all the way on the left side you can go to edit text. Okay, so now I can get back to my box. I could change whatever I want to change again and click OK. If I'm not in this edit text, I won't be able to edit my text. Got it? Make sure you're in edit text. Then I can move everything around. I could go back to my format. I have my options of the different shapes. I could change my colors, this we all know, and I could switch everything around. Okay, we have some shadow effects that you could use. This is looking quite horrible, but I'm sure you'll do a much nicer job than me. The font I chose was a little bit difficult to work with here. Let me just switch it just so it's easier to see. Okay, so there we have our title in word art. That's our first thing. Now, let me just see here. Okay, to change our background color. So some newsletters come in with background, some don't. If you want to add in a background color, which we're going to stay away from all black. I know that looks very cool. We're going to steer away from all black. It's just a lot of ink. We're going to select whatever shape you have here. Some of you will have a column here. Some of you will have a box. and you're going to click on the shape fill, and you could pick a color. Now notice that I did the shape fill, but I still have all this white because all these text boxes have filled as well. So if I click on a text box and I go then to my shape fill, I'm going to say no fill. And you'll see that the backgrounds are disappearing. Obviously now the words are very hard to see. So of course you can go to your home tab and go to your fonts, and you can make it a lighter color, something that will be easy to see. Okay, something like that. Obviously, you need to remove the white from all of them because they are linked, which we will talk about in 1 minute. So, in Publisher, everything comes in, and like I said, the text boxes are linked. What does that mean? That the text flows from one box all the way to the next box, and it can continue on to the next page. It's very important that you link your text boxes because, like you saw up here when I was typing, sometimes your information just disappears and you don't even realize that you don't have your information. I'm just going to remove this background because it's making me slightly dizzy. Okay. I'm going to put it back to the original. So here we have our text boxes. I know that they're linked because when I click on something, it shows me this arrow. This arrow means that it's linked to this box and this box. Okay, we have them here, linked. Linked. They're all linked one to the next. Now, let's say I delete a text box. Okay, I just deleted the text. This is very important. Also, when I'm in a text box and if I hit delete, it's going to delete the text, but my boxes are still there. Okay, so I see I have this box, and this box is linked to this box, which is linked to the first box and to the next box, and then there's nothing linked after that. Okay, if I delete a box, so I have to click on the outline and hit delete, now there's nothing there. So I need to add in a text box. I'm going to click on my home tab. I'm clicking on draw text box. I'm going to click and drag. Now I have my text box and I can enter my text. Okay, I can type in whatever needs to be typed. But if I continue typing, you'll notice that I now have these 3 dots. These 3 dots mean that I have overflow text. So there's more text in this box that's not being shown. So if I click on that link, on those 3 dots rather, I now have a picture. The picture means that there's text sitting in this picture, and I need to pour it over. I need it to spill out into another box, okay? So these actually are existing text boxes, and if I click on the picture, it's automatically going to spill my information into the next box. And now I'll have my link back, okay? So these 2 boxes were still linked from before, so it's showing that they're linked even though I only have information till here. Now, if you want to write your article starting on one page and you want to link it to continue on your 3rd page, you can. All you're going to do is click on the last box. You will not have, let's say for example, I don't have the information in here now, so I don't have those 3 dots. But when you're selected on your text box, I can go up to my text box tools options and I can click on create link. When I click on create link, I now have that picture again. I could choose wherever I want my story to continue, and I can continue. Now, how do you know, oh, maybe I don't remember where I linked it to? If I click on the little arrows, it will jump right back to where my story is being linked. Okay? So that is how you link text boxes. Make sure they are linked. It's very important. When you have your information in, you're going to add in some images, some clip art. So let's go to insert clip art, and I'm just going to put in Dreidel just because it's here already, and it's going to load quickly. So when you decide what you want, it takes a second for the picture to load. So give it a second. Okay, now I'm going to make this smaller, but notice when you add something in Publisher, notice how everything jumps around. Maybe you want it to jump around, maybe you don't. I don't want it to jump around. I want the text to stay stagnant, to stay where it is. Let's say here, I want it to be next to my headline and not to bump it down. I'm going to go to my picture toolbar and I'm going to do the opposite of what we usually do. We usually put the text wrapping on. I'm going to say none. Do not make text wrapping. I want to leave it where it is. Sometimes people want to get rid of the white background here if your image has a background. So when I select on my picture, I'm going to click on recolor and set transparent color. This doesn't always work, but a lot of times it does, especially when there's a lot of background. So you see I was able to get rid of that white box around. and now I have my image. If you want to get some other images from online, you can go to K9 Safe Search. You're going to click on images and look for an image. I typed in oil spills here. You're going to double click to enlarge your image first so that when you copy it, it comes out clear. When it loads, you are going to, yikes, you're going to copy, right click copy. I'm going to minimize that and I'm going to paste. The same thing is going to happen. It's going to come in very large and it's going to cause everything to, let's see, to jump around. So you're going to set the text wrapping the same way. Now, sometimes people like to put the image behind their words. Very simply, once you do that, or anything for a shape, you're going to have your options either on your drawing tools up here or on your pictures tools. All you're going to do is say either bring to the front, bring forward. If you click on the arrow, there are more options, or you want to send it to the back, send it backwards. Now I could put my words on top. Of course, if there's a white box, we know simply that we just have to take away the shape fill, and then we can have words on top of our boxes. The last thing we need to know is that every newsletter comes in with 4 pages. You might need 4 pages, you might only need 3 pages. If you need only 3 pages, remove your last page. Do not print out a page with all this extra stuff on it. All you have to do is right click, delete. That's it. It's going to ask you, are you sure? You're going to click on yes. If you want to insert a page, maybe you deleted by mistake or you have another page, you can click on insert pages, insert page. You're going to click on more. You're going to decide 2 pages. Maybe I only need 1 pages. I want it to be between the pages before or after. And either you could duplicate the page so it comes in with all the text boxes, or you can leave it blank, whichever one you want, and it will come in. You could also right click and insert page. In your view, if you lose your double option, you can either have it as a single page spread or double spread. It doesn't really matter, whichever is easier for you to work on. Make sure you save often. Save with your name and signed newsletter. You're going to save one to your documents and one to your LinkStation class folder called Signed Newsletter so that if someone's absent, you can both work on it at the same time. Before you print, please make sure you have set it to the right printer. Good luck.